The refreshing sound of Gabbing and Games coming at you live. What is it here? 3:30 here. Is it 3:30? Yeah, it's just 3:30 here in San Diego. It's good to see everybody. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. Welcome to Monday. Tomorrow's big election day. Of course, I'm excited. I'm a political junkie. We'll be doing stuff on the channel tomorrow, but of course, I'm going to cut out early tomorrow to watch the election results, to watch as, as hopefully good news comes the way of people who are kind and caring like me. Listen, if you're trying to chat and you don't know what's going on, I want to let you know that we are currently in a bit of a blackout until God of War has been out for, I guess, about, I don't know, we'll probably do it till the weekend or whatever. Maybe we want to make sure nobody's spoiling it. And people are apt right now, given the climate, to come in and drop spoilers. And so the way it works until, we're going to go back to normal next week. But for now, until God of War drops, and then a few days after, we will be in this mode where if you are a subscriber to the channel, after 3 hours, you can post your heart's content when it's not members only. And then obviously members only can, chat all day, all live long day, all good and goddamn live long day. Your copy, Eddie Torres says his copy of God of War arrives tomorrow. I ain't buying no physical copy. I am downloading it and installing it this evening, but that's exciting. I'm excited to play it. We're going to talk about the week that is coming up pretty soon, because it is a very big week in video games. But I want to give you a little rundown of the show. Before we even start on that, though, I want to give you a number, and I want to see, as it relates to our current topic, or one of our current topics today, if you can guess what this number is referring to. 401 million. 401 million is today's secret number. When I get to it in the show, I'll tell you what's going on. You let me know if you know ahead of time. Let me see what's happening in the chat, and then I want to tell you about some games that are up that I've been playing a lot of. So, by the way, that opening song was from our very own Alex Plox, God of War member. Fantastic stuff, as always. Eddie T says he's on day 7 of No Nut November, and I feel like I'm an Ultra Instinct Goku. Listen, all I can tell you is I read a science, it wasn't a science paper, it was a casual news story based on a science paper, so I don't know if the science is accurate, but it seems like it is. No Nut November, I believe, was originally started for some kind of public health thing, and then it turns out that wasn't accurate, the health that it was based on, and guys are still going around not having sex and or not masturbating all through November. To what end, I say? Why would you even take that on? What would the point be? Like, I wonder if there's anybody out there that's actually doing it seriously. What's the value of that? I don't know. If you keep your sperm supplies high, you get better orgasms. Well, yeah, a cab, sure. But that has nothing to do with health. That's just like common sense. If you empty the bank, you got to wait for more money to get deposited somehow. That's absolutely true. Urologists are saying it's not healthy, says Lord Garth. Yeah, to keep all the spunk inside, fellas. I'm not saying don't practice sort of, what is that Sting does? The kind of sex him and Trudy have. Tantrics. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying don't practice the, withholding and then exploding technique, of course. But for a month? Zinni says, whatever happened to the 2-minute mystery competition? Anybody win that? If not, my guess is Mr. Green. Yeah. I don't remember who the first person to guess, but it was the chef's assistant who murdered the chef in order to get his cookbook or his book of receipts or information that he could use to compete across the street at a competing restaurant. The Five King says, did you watch the Weird Al movie? Is that out yet? I love the trailer, but I have not watched the movie yet. I didn't know it was out. Where do you go to the theater, or is it streaming? I imagine it's a streaming motion picture show. So Heads up, by the way, we gave away a handful of games the other day on the stream. We gave away Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Gas Station Simulator, Hot Wheels Unleashed, Plague's Tale, a number of things. But only one person has shown up to collect their booty. So hit me up on the Discord if you're one of the winners, and I'll get you situated. Oh, Roku? Yeah, I don't have Roku. Roku's the only place you can watch it right now. Yeah, I don't even have the hardware for that. Okay. I want to give you a quick reminder. Well, I do want to tell you this real quick. So I got Call of Duty Modern Warfare. My review just went up on, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later today, but my review just went up on YouTube. Watch it. Give me your thoughts. But I haven't had much time to play the multiplayer, and I haven't had much time to play multiplayer because I have been absolutely obsessed. You goddamn right, Mr. Thank you for joining our little merry band, Mr. LHD6. Marvel Snap has been dominating my brain pan. It's delightful, and so I haven't had a time to play Call of Duty. We have a very big week of games coming up. We'll go over that in a minute, but it's just insane. Starting tomorrow at, I think it's 11 a.m. Pacific time, a big one is dropping. We'll talk about that in a second. So in terms of Jaffe, hey, what are you playing? I don't know what you guys are playing in the chat, but yeah, Uncle Fuzznet says he can't stop playing Marvel Snap. I mean, to the point of, I start to feel a little bit like I understand gambling addiction. Like, it is so refined. It is so pure. And it is so delightful to your brain that I bet you if they hooked your brain up to some kind of high-tech tomfoolery, they would be able to say that Marvel Snap at a physiological level probably hits the addiction juices and gets them flowing in the brain more than any other game that's out right now. It is, and a cab says it's a pure money printer. I know it's a big hit, but I've spent very little money on this fucking game. And it's not that I don't want to, but there's not a whole lot that I feel the need to buy. Like, every night I check excitedly if I can spend my gold on variant cards. And once or twice I did. Like last night I got a super cute cartoony version of the Vision. But short of that, the only reason to really spend money is to accelerate new cards faster to unlock more cards. But the cards you have I'm in pool 2 right now, are great. So I know it's a hit. I hope it's a financial hit because I want them to have this game out for a very, very long time. But no, I'm not a big, so far I haven't spent a lot of money, but I'm very happy to spend money. As we're about to start the show, I do want to let you know, it's boring, but like, subscribe, all that stuff. If you like it. If you don't like it. Fuck you, fuck me. Although if you don't like it, you know what I would appreciate? If you're like, yeah, I don't like your show, Jaffe. I'm just here because I'm, I don't know what you're in a refractory period from, fucking your dog and you need something to take your mind off. I don't know what it is you're here if you don't like it, but if you don't, hit me up on Discord, tell me what I can do to improve the show. But if you do like it, give it a like, give it a subscribe, turn on notifications, all that horse shit. You know how it goes. You know the routine. I got to tell you that. I'm supposed to tell you that. The other thing I'll tell you is this: membership has its rewards. On the flip side, at our hour break, our halfway through break, there's not tons of news today. So most of the news is going to be front loaded in the first half, which is free for everybody. The second half, everybody can watch, but it's only members chat. We're going to do shoot the shit chat with the stream. So the Discord's going to be on, the red phone is going to be on that you can call in on your cell, and we're just going to shoot the shit and talk about games for a little bit. So consider being a member of Gabbin' Games if you want those kinds of advantages. Another advantage is you get to attend, that's the red phone. You get to attend movie screenings live or after the fact. We put them up with the time code on YouTube now. We have one coming up this weekend. If you are a Cult of Calypso member or a God of War member, check out the Discord and the YouTube channel tonight or tomorrow, and I will put up a handful of movies for you guys to vote on so we can pick 2 for the double feature. I am hoping that somebody picks Barbarian, but they don't have to. It's totally up to you guys. Dan Root says I need to up my subscription, but I can't do it on the YouTube app on the phone. Yeah, Apple, you know how Apple is. I would tell you with Apple that the best thing to do if you do want to sub on your phone is go open up YouTube in Safari, and you can do it there, but you cannot do it through the app. Aegon the Unlikely says, Jaffe, this channel is the first and only channel I've ever spent money on. Worth a subscription. Thank you, buddy. I very much appreciate that. Spazbo wants you to know the game I won the other day can go to anybody who wants it since I already have it. Spazbo, what game did you get? I forget what you won. Was it Requiem or something? But yeah, Spaz is giving you the game, so hit him up in the chat. He's here now. Carlos Hernandez says, as a longtime member, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, meaning the subscription to this channel. Save your money and buy God of War. You can go fuck yourself. You can go fuck yourself and the horse that you rode in on, and you fucked the horse. Listen, this is a big week for the video games. Listen to this. I'm going to tell you what's coming out this week. This is something, man. Tomorrow morning at 11 a.m., Halo... and we'll talk about some details in a minute, but Halo is dropping what I would consider to be their last chance at survival, their last chance at relevancy, their last chance to turn the horse. We get it, Jaffe. No more of the metaphors. What's happening at 11 o'clock? Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, 343 Microsoft Xbox Game Pass is dropping the winter update for Halo. This is a banger of a banger, my little friends. Forge is in there. Forge is everything. Okay, yes, they're going to be putting new battle pass in there with a whole new philosophy of how you update your battle pass and all that, and how you advance in battle pass, which does sound good. They've got 2 professionally made levels. You know, I put professional in quotes just because it takes them so long. I don't know. They've got monkeys making them, and they just get lucky. But they got that. But the most important thing is Forge. That is going to drop tomorrow at 11 a.m. You're going to have all the maps that were made in the beta. This is still officially the beta, but people have been making maps. That is what this game is needed. I don't think it's modes. I don't think it's more weapons. I think you just want more places to play. That comes out tomorrow, okay? Then there's some, Strays coming out for, I think Strays coming out for Switch or something, but whatever. Return to Monkey Island comes out, Game Pass consoles tomorrow. Sonic Frontiers comes out tomorrow. It's getting pretty good reviews. God of War, Big Bad Mighty God of War comes out on the 9th, which is Wednesday. Yes, I will be streaming it. Vampire Survivors comes out on the 10th, which is Saturday. Oh, no, which is Friday. One of my most anticipated games, I know, fuck you. The Atari 50th anniversary celebration. It's not just a bunch of fucking Atari games put on a cart. What am I, 50? Yes. It's basically my understanding is it's like a museum piece where you have all of these games, including remasters and remakes and brand new games that are Atari 2600 and up style games, but you also have the history of Atari on a timeline. So you can pretty much play their very first game, which I guess was Pong. And as you're advancing through this timeline, it looks like you're going to be able to click on things to see art and hear interviews. And it really is like a deep dive into one of the first great video game companies. I'm very much looking forward to that. I know there are some people out there looking forward to Tactics Ogre Reborn. I've never played one of those games. That comes out this week. And Valkyrie Elysium is coming out on PC. So we are getting into the heavy waters of it's heavy flow season, fellas. We're getting into the heavy flow season of the video game holiday season, which is exciting. Eddie T has the Steelbook edition of the Atari game pre-ordered. It is an incredible bundle of history and fun. I believe it. Nitro says, I already have the game. Which game are you talking about? Yes. Carlos says, get your MAGA hats ready. I ordered them last night. I don't know why they had to ship me 2 of them. I'll have it tonight or tomorrow or whatever. And, there you go. So I'll be wearing them as promised. Halo Infinite has a fun campaign. The rest is not all that good, says King. I don't agree with you. I loved the campaign and I loved the multiplayer. I just didn't think there was enough of it. Okay. That's cute. They add Forge like 18 months after the game comes out. Yes. Doug, are you here? Are you here to let us know that 343's Halo Infinite is really slow in updating their content? Welcome to 9 months ago. Yes, we know, but it's fucking free. what was there was great, we'll try it. Hey, look, man, trust me, no one knows more than those guys. If they shit the bed on this one, I don't know how much longer they're going to be around. I mean, maybe because they've had some management shifts, some major management shifts there, and some changes over at Certain Affinity. Perhaps even if this does shit the bed, the executives at Microsoft will go, yeah, well, that's why we made the changes. We got to give this new group a chance. Ravnos, exactly. He says 343 Studios equals 343 days to do something most devs do in 30 days. Listen to me. You think that's dumb? Do you know where the title... I don't know if you guys remember. You probably do if you were playing PlayStation 1 games. The title 989 Studios came from, which is sort of what Sony ImageSoft became Sony Interactive Studios. They became 989. Then they all got folded into Sony. Everybody was submitting ideas to the company. It's like, we got to name a new company. And, you know, we're all creative people there. We're coming up with crazy, cool shit. And suddenly we learn the answer is 989 Studios. And we're like, what the fuck is that? Oh, that's the address. That's the street address of where the building is. The fuck what? I mean, it just goes to show you that names don't matter. Album covers don't matter. Movie titles don't matter. All that matters is the association you have with them. We learned this lesson the easy way when we ended up picking the title Jet Moto. And everybody was like, what the fuck is Jet Moto? We're like, we don't know. It sounds pretty good. Just fucking ship the goddamn thing. The thing shipped. It became a hit. And they just accept it. There's a million titles in video games. Fortnite. Think about the name Fortnite. So boring and uninteresting as a title. It's the biggest game in the world. It was for a long time. So... could you imagine if Nintendo, says Beats Games Life, messed up Mario as bad as Xbox messed up Halo? I mean, yeah, sure, I could. But I mean, because we're living through it, we're seeing it. Hell, we're seeing it with Sega. Now, maybe Sega's going to turn it around. You guys know what we're talking about today. We're talking about Sonic. Sonic Frontiers has finally come out. It has been the long mocked title. When they revealed a bunch of stuff for it and gameplay, it just looked like, what the crap is this? I've never been excited for it, but I want to tell you about some of the reviews that are hitting, because it might, I don't know. It might turn me around, fellas. I might be a born again Sonic fan. I was in high school, college when the first Sonic came out, so I wasn't a little kid that grew up thinking Sonic was cool because he tapped his foot and had attitude. I was just like, whatever. But it was fun. But I was never a hardcore Sonic guy. I think this is coalescing, though. The reviews are pretty good on this. Not amazing, but pretty good on this. But it's coalescing with the movies have really birthed a whole new group of fans for Sonic. And I think this could actually be a decent size hit for Sega. The number I was asking you guys to guess at the beginning, 401 million. That's $401 million that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 made worldwide, which, so you know, is about $80 million more than Sonic the Hedgehog 1 made. And yes, there is a Sonic 3 planned as well. So there's a whole new generation, couple of generations that have come up going, we've never really been there when Sonic was a huge hit, but fuck, we love the movies. So, you know, that leads us into this. Boom. Here's where we're at right now with Sonic on Sonic Frontiers. I saw somebody in the chat telling me it was at a 77. I haven't seen that. I've seen, at least if you're looking at the PlayStation 5 version, maybe you're talking on Switch or something. It is a 73 Metacritic. I want to just go through some of the choice good and bad reviews, because it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Twisted Sith. Thank you, buddy. He has dropped the first super chat of the day. I very much appreciate that, man. It's very, very kind and courteous. Thank you, sir. So, okay. If you look at the reviews on the Metacritic, the general consensus, right? 31 positive, 16 mixed, 3 negative. The general consensus of Sonic, people are saying the 20 review is a joke. We'll talk about that specifically in a minute. the gist of it is the exploration is great. There's a lot of payoff to just wandering the world and exploring. Here's an 85 review. Checkpoint Gaming says they have not reinvented the wheel. Instead, they've successfully transported Sonic to an intriguing new world that is a pleasure to explore. You'll hear this. This comes up time and again, while maintaining some retro flair and an engaging story that will make fans happy. Put simply, Sonic Frontiers is the best 3D Sonic game ever made. 82, Hobby Consuela says, Consola says, it may not be the most solid game out there, but it sure is a daring bet that works better than many expected. It gives Sonic lore a new scope. Dual Shockers is giving it an 80. Sonic's never been afraid to take risks, and Sonic Frontiers is a good example of one that has paid off. There are some areas where it's lacking, such as the minimal number of cyberspace settings and the Titan fights. I guess those are bosses, I don't know. But Sonic Frontiers is the best 3D Sonic game in a long time, with its open world foundation offering something to build on for years to come. So all the positives are talking about that. But even if you go to IGN Japan gave it an 80. They're saying the discovery and sense of wonder is huge in the game. Listen to this. It says Sonic Frontiers, this is IGN Japan, Sonic Frontiers might not be as sophisticated or as polished as the very best games out there, obviously. However, when it comes to discovery and a sense of wonder, Sonic Frontiers' open zone design can proudly stand side by side with any open world masterpiece. Come on now. It says the amount of content they offer is staggering. And even if you get into the mix shit, GameSpot gave it a 70. Says Sonic Frontiers is at its best when you're given time simply to explore. There are some people who shit on it. These are the lowest reviews. There's a 50 from Player 2 that says Sonic Frontiers is a solid core experience, stretched far too thin. Gamer Hub gave it a 4 out of 10. They say there's a real tonal dissonance in Sonic Frontiers. It wants to be a fun platformer. It wants to be a high-speed exploration puzzler. It also wants you to feel a sense of power as you take on towering bosses and save a world from certain destruction. But you see, I'm adding the drama and the voice of the writer because it's clear he's upset. But in striving for success on multiple fronts, it achieves none of these goals. Instead, it arrives as an ambitious but lukewarm adventure platformer pockmarked by deflating choices. Think about that. 40 is Games Radar. Was taking Sonic open world ambitious? Yes. Did it pay off? Absolutely not. And then you've got some of the guys that are too cool for school and they don't like to give numbers because you must read my prose. Fuck you, I like numbers. Eurogamer says Sonic Frontiers is a hot mess of a reinvention that can't commit to its new direction. Porygon says, what's more, the game often felt like a checklist more than a game. I completed more mini games than I could count. So there, if you allowed Polygon and Eurogamer numbers, you'd probably have it about a 69 review score. But enough of the reviews that are positive and even middle of the road are saying these are the kind of games I like, because most things when you're talking $60, $70, they have no choice but to take it conservatively. They have to play it safe. It's too expensive. I'm not saying this game goes toe to toe in production value with stuff like God of War and whatnot, but it's nice to see. Hey! I'll get to that in just a second. I can see up her skirt. It's nice to see a company releasing a nice sized game that is like, hey, it's different. I want to give it a try. So I'm not saying this is Game of the Year material. I don't know yet, but I am excited to give it a try because it seems a little different at this scope, which is nice. But yeah, people were talking about the digital, what are they called? Trends. And they gave Digital Trends as a media outlet. They gave this game a 2 out of 10, right? And I started thinking, I didn't even know Metacritic did this. Metacritic lets you go to all of the scores of a specific publication. Because I was like I always tend to see Digital Trends down here at the bottom. And just because somebody gives a lot of stuff low scores doesn't mean they're a shit reviewer. But it did make me wonder, what is with this publication? So if you go over there, this is what the Metacritic page says. They have a 66% lower than average critic rating. They are 1.6 points lower than other critics. Their average score is a 73. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they're actually the only ones using the top 10 scale accurately. I don't know if I would consider, from what I've read, Sonic as a 2. They gave Ragnarok an 8 instead of a 94. Modern Warfare, they gave a 70. I mean, and that's probably right for most people, you know, instead of a 78. So I know that these guys get a lot of shit and maybe they're just trolls, but at the same time, maybe they're the ones that are kind of sitting there going, well, look, motherfucker, 5 is average. 5 is average, right? We're going to be getting all, it's weird. These kind of go in cycles. I don't know why. Let me turn that down for a second. You know, they're the ones going, hey, a 5 is average. A 7 is pretty good. An 8 is great. God of War Ragnarok is great. You know, we've just been so Ravnos is saying that 5 is not average. 5 is average if you are looking at actual numbers. That is the definition of average. It's right in the middle of 1 and 10. And perhaps Digital Trends just looks like trolls because they're the ones who are actually using the numbers accurately. Yeah, Lord Garda says, do some analysis comparing. Who would you like to see? Well, I'm getting these super chats real quick. Let me know an outlet you want me to run, and we'll put it up here and see, comparatively speaking. Like, who do you think is a fair review site? I'd like to put that in. In the meantime, all the folks that have just renewed their membership, thank you guys very, very much. It is very kind. It is very courteous. I appreciate it. Screenplay Jose has dropped a mother of a super chat, which isn't showing up on the screen because fuck you. Hang on. Let me get it up on the screen. It deserves your attention. It deserves your attention. Here it is. Boom. He says, hey, got to go fast. As a Sonic and Twisted Metal Black super fan, I am super happy to see you talk about Sonic Frontiers. Thanks, buddy. I also agree with your take on names. Remember when Twisted Metal was going to be called Urban Assault? Number one, thank you. Incredibly generous. Appreciate it, buddy. Urban Assault, Cars and Rockets, Battle Cars. That game changed titles 10 times before we were able to lock in Twisted Metal. Warhawk was originally called Warthog because they were going to make it a more of a modern military shooter about the AC-10 or that kind of plane that's, you know, really ugly but cool. And when they went sci-fi, they just kind of kept calling it Warthog, and marketing said, what about Warhawk? Or, if I remember correctly. So names are like that. Yeah, Sonic is one of those things that I am agnostic to Sonic. So I don't come to the table with Sonic the Hedgehog and I'm like, I can't fucking wait. And I'm not one of these haters. There aren't a lot of mascots in video games that are beloved that have the staying power of Sonic. So I'm interested, and the reviews do have me curious. So I'm excited to see, and thank you for that, buddy. Thank you for Screenplay, and thank you for playing our Twisted Metal games. I appreciate that on behalf of the whole team. Okay, so I'm trying to see the AC. Yeah, the AC-130, Spasbo says, is what the ship was. Okay, so yeah, it's really interesting. Ravno says, going back to reviewers, Famitsu, I'm going to tell you something. Now, I don't know if this is the case anymore, but back when I was just getting started in the industry, in fact, probably up until 2000, Famitsu was always the standard bearer. It was what everybody looked to and said, those guys rate hard but fair. I guess now maybe Edge Magazine kind of sort of for some people have that reputation, but I don't think Famitsu still has that reputation. And I know that because Drawn to Death got a fucking great 4-quadrant score from Famitsu, and nobody said, but Famitsu liked it, right? Nobody even talked about it. Back in the day, it would have been Famitsu's the outlier and they say what everyone else says is shit is great. Maybe the other people are missing it because Famitsu's really smart. I'm going to look up AGC. You guys are saying look up AGC and let's compare those guys. AGC. No, I want to. Well, hang on. Let's go back to Sonic. Sonic Frontiers 73. Let's look at all the reviews. reviews, and let's see if AGC or Skill Up. Let's see, AGC, nope. Skill, nope. Give me somebody else. I'll give you a good example. Let's just look up IGN. A lot of people say IGN overrates things because their relationships with the publishers. You know, I can see that. I'm not saying it's true. I've never had any experience that that's true, but I could see that. It wouldn't surprise me. So let's see. If we go to all their reviews, they rate 60% higher than the average critic, 34% lower than the average critic. They give 3.7 points lower than other critics. They're just in their average review score is 71. Now that may also be though because they review a lot more, because if their average is 71, I think that was the other average as well, right? John Flattery says people think reviews are like a grade system like in school, like 70 is barely passing. Bad system because anything below a 6 is an F when a 3 out of 5 game is decent. Yeah, everybody's got very different they have very different takes on reviews. I look at it like 5 is average, but it is what it is. I always thought the 100 score level was ridiculous, says Adam. It's too much range. 1 to 5, 5 stars, or A to F. I mean, 1 to 10 is 100, right? I mean, you know, it's basically, is it a 5 or a 5.5? I can live with a 7 or a 75, you know, in terms of going, it helps have a little bit of fidelity there. I think. Okay. Let's move on though. So Sonic is coming out. It'll be out tomorrow. I probably am going to pick it up. Not first. I'll be playing Halo and God of War first. Listen to this. There's something interesting though that I saw. This is for, they didn't like it. They gave it a 55. One more thing about Sonic real quick. They gave it a 55 and they said, this is us gamers. This isn't about if it's good or bad. It's about what? I don't know how I feel about this. The fact that there are several difficulty levels, they write, and the ability to, now the difficulty levels, whatever, but the fact that there's the ability to fine tune Sonic's speed, jump height, and even damage recovery as part of the in-game options is not a great sign. Now, I don't know if it's a great sign or not, but I do wonder about the idea, like if they're saying damage recovery, like if Sonic gets hit and you set him to only lose 25% of his rings versus 100% of his rings, the speed, the jump height, I mean, now fine tune is fine tune. It may not be that you can, you know, go to 100 and just jump over everything, but that is a little weird. That is a little weird to me. Like, I know a lot of people, as they should be, are all in on the accessibility train. I don't know if you saw the God of War Ragnarok accessibility art the other day, where I guess it's for colorblind people, where you can literally turn Kratos blue, like just a solid blue block of Kratos. I mean, the model's the same, but there's no material on him. He's just blue, flat shaded. And you can turn all the bad guys red. And it kind of reminds me of like when you watch people play competitive Quake or some of those kind of arena shooters, and they just go with solid block colors because it's easier to see and they get rid of all the detail. I think there's value in that. Yeah, if you're not colorblind, it probably helps you cheat a little bit or make game a little bit easier so you can separate, you know, things better. But when you're messing around with damage recovery, jump height, speed, Gravedoll says, I see no problems with that. Yeah, but at what point is it the video game equivalent of the company in Utah that was taking James Cameron's Titanic, cutting out the sex scene, and then renting that to people who wanted a non-R-rated or non-against God version of the movie, right? Isn't there a point? I mean, I know the developers put this in, so they chose to put it in, but isn't there a point where it's like they're abdicating the design chores to the user? It's like, well, what if I enter in some numbers that aren't very good? Well, that's the freedom. I don't want freedom. I want to be entertained. Gravedoll says this bad comparison. It's not censorship. I'm not talking about it's censorship. I'm talking about whether it's falls under the guise or the definition of censorship, which it doesn't, because the guy who made it, the team who made it said, you can do this. it's still the same thing of basically going, our vision for what this game is not important enough to us, as we would rather you, if you start to get a little bit frustrated, we'd rather you just start tweaking some numbers and see if you can get over that sequence that was a little harder for you before. I don't agree. Phil Spencer's Apostle says more options is a good thing. Kind of. But that would be like saying, I'm going to go into a salad bar, and instead of the people who run the salad bar going, these tend to be what people like on their salad, and there's 5 or 6 things that are a little out there, and we're not going to load the bar with that, but this is going to let you have a little freedom to kind of explore a little bit. And then let's put some nails in one of the cups. Let's put some shit in that one. And let's make sure we put some hot dogs and some pizza. Well, nobody puts pizza on there. So it doesn't matter. Choices. You start to put so many choices, and it negates the game. Benji Martinez says, "Oh, so the way that you tweaked Roller Drome, I get it. I get it. I'm not. I tweaked Roller Drome. I slowed it down. I had a better time, and I appreciated that. What I'm saying is, at what point should it end? At what point do the people who are saying this is my art, this is my creation, put up a wall and say, yes, we want you to have an accessible time. We want you to have a good time. But there's a point where we can give you so much that it's not the game we want to make anymore." Now, I wasn't going to get to this story now, but I'll jump to it, and I'll come back to some of this lighter stuff because it's relevant. You may have seen this. EA today, it's related. Well, Ravno says Sonic is not art, LOL. It's a franchise for kids, man. Well, I think if you've worked in the creative field, whether you're making kids cartoons or you're making games that are, and I would argue that I don't know, I don't think even Sega knows who their mainstay audience is for Sonic at this point, because of the movies, because of older people being into the games. Like, is it a bunch of people coming back for nostalgia, or is your average 8-year-old at school going, dude, Sonic comes out tomorrow? I have no idea. But the point is this, though. The point is this. Anybody who works in the creative field is bringing some of themselves to it. And it is art. Intentionally or not, it's art. You are expressing yourself through it. So, do my kids like Sonic? I doubt my kids know Masochistic who Sonic is, other than being in the movies, right? Related to this, though, EA was granted a patent that they filed in 2020. It was approved this month. This is interesting. It's a patent that changes your controls based on how good or bad you're playing. I'm going to put it up on the screen so you can see what it looks like. This is actually part of the patent they put up. Can you see that? Yeah. And what it does is it tracks how well the player is playing, and it doesn't adjust difficulty of the game. Instead, it looks at what you see up here on screen. I'm sure there are more, but what you see on screen is like mouse sensitivity, controller sensitivity, targeting scope, invert view, hiding other player names, whatever. And they basically say, depending on how well you're doing behind the scenes, we're going to be sliding these things around. Well, no, see, people are saying, didn't Capcom do this, says Sabo back in 2003. This is not changing the difficulty. This is not going, this is not going, oh, you're getting killed a lot here, let's spawn fewer zombies in the village, right? This is literally, you won't even really notice it if it's done well, right? Doomslayer says this is not adaptive difficulty. I mean, it is, but it's not through, it ultimately does adapt the difficulty, because if it gives your auto aiming in single player Call of Duty a little bit more stickiness, or aim assist, right? Then suddenly you're able to hang and enjoy. I wouldn't want this in multiplayer. The one thing I don't like about this patent is, at least when they're explaining it to the press, or maybe they wrote this in their document, I don't know, is they literally say about it, they go, The patent's abstract outlines how the software would involve determining based on a player's input a user profile for the user comprising at least a skill level and an input tendency of the user, whatever. The software would subsequently make adjustments to the controller settings that are explicitly intended to improve the performance of the user. But then they go on to say, it would include receiving approval of the user to implement the suggested adjustments to the controller setting. I don't like that. I don't like that. This shit should be behind the scenes and it should just give you a good time. The idea that it's like, hey, it's like, don't interrupt my immersion into your fantasy world by like, do I want to fucking set these settings or have you just show me a good time. You know what it's like? This is the geek male. It doesn't have to be male. This is the geek equivalent. And I can only think of it from a male to female, but I guess it's any date situation where you say, I'm going to take you out on a date. And then you say, she says, you say, where do you want to go? And she's just like, oh, whatever. And the guy's like, cool, it's all in my hands. I got you. I'm going to show you a good fucking time. That's what I think most of my video games should do. I don't want to know. I don't want to be asked, oh, you're doing shitty. Like I was playing Resident Evil 3 on medium and it's like I died a bunch of times in one section. Would you like to change to easy? No, fuck off. Will the game be better if I change to easy based on your professional opinion as a designer? Then just fucking do it. Just fucking do it. Like maybe the only thing they should do is at the very beginning say, hey, would you like to go on a date with Resident Evil 3, what's her name? Jill Valentine? Boy, would I. Would you like to go on a date with Resident Evil 3 and we got you covered? Or do you want a little bit of control? Before the whole thing starts, you can have that conversation with me. But once we get rolling, leave me the fuck alone. Show me a good time. Show me a goddamn good time. But I would not do it. Some people in the chat are saying, I want this in multiplayer. God, no. God, well, okay. It's tough because you can set your own shit in multiplayer, but I guess as long as it's fair. I guess as long as it's, there's a difference. I guess there's a fine line between being able to go, okay, you're so bad you need a little help, and this is a cheat. So, okay. Gravedoll says ML driven based on X. We recommend Y. Come on, Jaffe. I have no idea what that means. I don't know what ML is. I did order Master Millions. I ordered the MAGA hat. It's coming tomorrow. For some reason, they sent me 2. And I knew they were going to send me 2 because it said 2. But it was the only one that had pretty good reviews that said it could be here by tomorrow. So, you know. But I ordered it, and trust me, I will wear it, as I said. And it will have my own little Jaffe slant. When I'm done with them, Dan Root, we'll figure it out. It'll be fun. Okay, so machine learning driven based on X, we recommend Y. Come on, Jaffe. Are you saying that's good or bad? I like that. It depends on the game, but I like that. Oh, I didn't give Trump money. There's like if you go to Amazon and type in MAGA hat, there's like 50 people selling them. And they were made, let's put it this way, they were made in China. I'd rather give my money to a Chinese sweatshop than Donald Trump. Think about that. Think about that. You know I'm right. Although I did have a very interesting political conversation with the Trump voter today on Twitter, and it did allow me to see their perspective more than I usually do, which I appreciated. And we can talk about that later on the Red Call side if you're interested in that nonsense. Okay, let us move on, shall we? Let me get some bubbly. I got to tell you guys some really interesting news. So we know screenplay Jose, that's not true. The art is what drives the level designers. That's a fact. No, it's not. I mean, it depends on the game. It depends on the studio. I can assure you at Sony Santa Monica, the art does not drive the level design. The art starts as a flat sheet. Very simple, at least the way we were doing it, and they were doing it up until very recently. I don't imagine they would have any reason to change it. And then once the key people are bought in, like, you know, the director, the lead level designer, whatever, you gather people around and say, this is what we want to make. And art has their input, and we can't do that. Code is like, dude, are you insane? That draw distance is bizarre. All those notes go back to the designer. They fuck around with it. Then they start, doing it as a collaboration with the artist and whatnot. But no, it's not like the art comes in and just says, we want this. They might say, we would like to create a level at a beach because we have this cool new tech. And the designer's like, all right, we can do that. And the writer and but no, it's mostly collaborative. But no, it's not like they come in and the artists say, we want to do this, and they do that. No. I mean, maybe at certain studios, but not many that I know of. But we will, by the way, talk about that in a little bit of interesting detail a little bit later. But I want to tell you this first. A couple of great deals happening at Target right now. I know, just listen, because I don't buy physical video games. So this is not for me, but I want to turn you on to it. Target has started, this is not Black Friday. I'm still hoping I get a great Black Friday game with Gotham Knights. I hope I can get that for like $25. But Target is saying, hey, buy two, get one free. You can get the new Call of Duty. You can get Miles Morales. You can get Mario Sparks of Hope. Gotham Knights is in there. There's a lot there's like over 600 titles in there. Buy two, get one free. But the best deal, like I may buy this just to have another Xbox in my home for the living room. Look at this. This is a great fucking deal. Look at this. $300 for the price of an S. You can get Modern Warfare, cross-gen, and you get your S at Target right now. You basically save $70 and you get a free game with your Xbox S. I don't know. I don't know how you would say no to this if you don't even have an Xbox and you don't want to spend a lot of money. It looks fucking great. I'm probably going to pick this up for the living room, like I said. Doomslayer says, my local retailer is selling God of War early. He doesn't know it's not released yet. Have you bought it? Did you buy it from him? And what do you think? What do you think? But don't sleep on that deal if you've been thinking about an S, because that's a pretty good one. It'll let you jump into multiplayer with your pals. If you happen to be a member on Gabbin Games, we will be playing. We were going to do it this weekend. Shit happened with my router. It's fixed now. We will be playing this week some Call of Duty Modern Warfare multiplayer. Grab a copy, grab an S if that's what you want to get, and give us some play. Okay, so you already got a copy, Doomslayer, of the new God of War. So on a scale of 1 to 10, no spoilers, please. What do you think? Is it a 10? I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Doomslayer, I'll tell you what, call in on the Discord. I want to ask you a couple of questions about God of War. I don't want any spoilers. And I know you're not, because you're a subscriber here. You're not going to fuck it up for other people. But please give me a call, either on Discord or the phone, if you're willing. Let me know, because I want to ask you for about 5 minutes. I want to talk about it and see what you thought. That would be cool. Okay, let us move on, shall we? Sure, we absolutely shall. Let's do it. You don't have Discord. Would you like a phone number? I can give you a phone number. If that's what you want, let me know. Okay. Listen to this. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road when it comes to your take on climate change and your own bills. This is interesting. A new survey is being sent around by Xbox, right? Did you see this? They're sending around a survey and they're saying, hey, if we allow a setting that will let you lower the frame rate, maybe you go from 60 to lock it at 40, I don't know, but lower the frame rate, lower the resolution at times. And there was like one other resolution. Apparently that's going to draw less power to your console. And both PS5 and XS are already energy hogs. That was a whole bunch of news when they first launched. Like, wow, people's energy bills have spiked because of this shit. And it won't force you to do it, but they're asking in this survey, is that something you would be interested in? And at first I thought it was a global warming thing. And at first I was like, well, you know, global warming, unfortunately, and I'm a progressive lefty guy. Of course, I'm into fixing the climate, but that's only because I trust the scientists. It sounds like, yeah, it would be really bad. And I've read some of the stuff, but I don't walk around like it's too abstract of a concept for most people, including me, to really change much behavior. But then they said, it's not just that, it would directly affect your energy bill. My energy bill this month, $600. Now I'm in a situation with 2 kids who have their friends over all the time, and it's a nightmare of that thing is always on, hot or cold, never off, But still, I was sitting there thinking, okay, if my energy bill will go down, and even if there's a little fucking thing up on the right, I'm not saying I would take it into multiplayer, but if I'm playing a fucking game like Slay the Spire on my Xbox, or if I'm playing a game that really doesn't matter, it runs fine at 30, and there's a little meter I can hit the button and see, and it's like, kind of like when you're working out, when I've never worked out, but when I hear, no, I've worked out, fuck you. A little meter up there that as you're playing, it's like you're saving $1, $10. You've saved $36. That would be, I would do it. I would fucking do it. Not always, but enough. CR3D says you can't lower your resolution on a console. It's still inherently render resolution the game was programmed to run out regardless of your output. I'm telling you what the survey says. It says verbatim. Would you appreciate the option to optimize settings like resolution, frame rate, and visual effects? It asks how gamers would feel about a feature that automatically lowers a game's frame rate or resolution when the player idles or goes inactive. Yeah, so it doesn't say resolution. It says effects. Fuck you, CR. It's the one thing you've been right about all week. I don't want to hear about it all week long. Okay. Well, thank you, Kenneth. Kenneth says, God bless you, David Jaffe. I appreciate it, buddy. Oh, that's great. Sod says, I saw somebody post Gotham Knights as Game of the Year contender. That cracked me up. Well, I mean, look, man, that's a very, I'm not being silly. That's a very personal thing. I got lambasted by the goddamn chat the other day because you guys were like, oh, Marvel Snap can't be Game of the Year. Wordle can't be Game of the Year. So, who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? Gravedoll says, every new console I get, I turn off the energy efficiency. I then hear a dolphin cry being carried by the wind. That would be great. Can you imagine? It's like, well, you're going to kill a dolphin. You sure you want to do this? I think it would be fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Let's move on. My little wacky humans. My little wacky. I hate how they spell wacky with an H. It should be W-A-C-K-Y. But I've seen people spell it. Doesn't matter. Listen, hey, Netflix has stepped up. They've stepped up and they've said, hey, after a very heated negotiation and competition with other movie studios, Netflix has come in. They've won. They're developing. This sounds pretty fucking good, actually. Developing a feature-length film and an adult animated series for Gears of War. Okay? Now, I'm excited for 2 reasons. One is their animation tends to be pretty fucking good, and their adult animation, if Cyberpunk's anything to go by, Castlevania is anything to go by, and some of their original stuff's anything to go by, that could be awesome. But I saw, and I know it depends who the director is and the writer and everything, of course, but when you watch that movie that Zack Snyder did for them with Batista, and he did, what was it called? Like the one in Vegas with the zombies, Army of the Dead or whatever the fuck it was. It wasn't great, but it was fun. It was an absolute fun experience. And so could it be better? Should it be better? Yeah. But to see Gears of War just be a big, dumb, loud action film with a little bit of heart and soul, just like the game. Like you talk to Cliff Blazinski, Cliff will tell you, there was a lot of stuff about my father. There was a lot of stuff about my childhood, and that's marbled in there, but that's like 10%. And the rest is just like, fuck yeah. I'd watch this. John says, I really liked Army of the Dead. I didn't really like it, but I really enjoyed it for what it was. Like I really enjoyed it in the same way that I enjoyed Scorpion King with The Rock. It was just really fun. And you kind of forget about it when you're done, but it was really fucking fun. I enjoyed it. So anyway, this is just announced today. Netflix taking over Gears of War movie project. We will see where this goes. Listen to this now. I don't know if that guy was going to call in or not. If he wants to, he can, about God of War. But let me tell you this person. A guy named Bae Song Hun is his name. He writes for IGN Korea. Cooper, actually, hang on a sec. We'll get to that. Cooper says, hey, Cooper, he says they announced quite a bit as well. Movies, series, additional stuff for Gears of War or just in general was announced. I know they did a Stranger Things Day yesterday, and they gave away the title of the first episode, which has a lot of people thinking that they're going to, if you know Stranger Things, they're going to, which I love that show, that they're going to bring Eddie Munson back. Is that his name? Eddie Munson? I think so. Kind of the lead of the Hellfire Club. Anyway, whatever. Okay. Oh, you'll call in. Okay, Doomslayer, I'm going to put the number up. I'll put the number up for members later. Don't call in unless you are Doomslayer, because he wants to talk about, or I want him to talk about God of War, because he's played it. So we're not going to talk long, like 5 minutes. Here we go. The number is now, it's not yet. Hang on. The number to call is about to be on the screen. Maybe. Come on now. There you go. 1-619-752-0548 is how you can reach me on your phone. Yes, Addy Pie says Stranger Things was incredible. He's excited for the VR game. Yeah, they just announced a new Stranger Things video game. I love Stranger Things Season 4, Ravnos. Absolutely. No spoilers. No, God, no spoilers at all. Were you sweating? Just Incredible says, Jaffe, you were sweating earlier this year, a game called Saints Woke. I was sweating it? I don't know what that means. Let me make sure this thing is on. I think it is. You can call. Anyway, while we're waiting, so, okay. Yeah, Stranger Things was fucking great, man. I dug it. What are you talking about? It's fucking awesome. I mean, some are bigger than others, better than others. Like season 3, I thought was just the most fun Stranger Things. Season 4 went on a little bit long with certain subplots, like when they went to Russia. I'm like, oh my God. But I thought it was fucking delightful. Just love that show. Anyway, let's move on. If this guy calls, great. But I want to tell you about another reviewer. Bae Song Hun writes for IGN Korea. This was his review of God of War. He gave the game a 6 out of 10. This is Ragnarok, which by the site standards is listed as okay. He says it's a game that will lean on its predecessors and stops right in front of the door of misery. I don't know what that means. His review particularly criticized the boring nature of the parent-child relationships in the game that drive the story and compares the overall feel of Ragnarok to a DLC to 2018's God of War rather than a standalone game. As a result, obviously, Twitter is not very kind to him. One guy shared a message of one guy that said, the guy insulted his writing skill, his physical appearance, and his nationality before issuing threats that he would, quote, beat your ass and humble you so good that you wouldn't even dare write this shit. And he ended with, I'ma kill you. So now, I think if someone's going to kill you, if somebody tells you they're going to kill you, they're either really dumb and you shouldn't worry about it, because who in the fucking world is going to tell you their plan? That's like in a cheesy cartoon where the enemy has captured the hero and he's like, before I kill you, let me tell you what the plan is, right? So he's either not smart enough to actually know how to kill somebody, or he's just full of shit. But that said, though, I haven't gotten death threats before. I mean, maybe actually I have. My son has even gotten them, and we just laugh, and his friends just laugh. I mean, it's crazy. But one guy has been on Twitter lately, really, and I'm busy, but I keep wanting to respond, and I'm like, what's the point? But one guy's on Twitter lately, just really coming at me with his buddy talking about fuck it, I'll show you. Let me show you this guy. He has his whole Twitter profile is about my thumbnails about God of War. Hang on. Where's this guy? Let me see if I can find him. And he's just not he's just not happy. He's not a happy bloke. Here he is. I think maybe he's gone away. Maybe he deleted his shit. But his shit was basically saying, you're basically an idiot, you're terrible, you're salty, you're mad, you said it was DLC, you started that rumor, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, dude, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares, man. What we've had this, I'm not going to get back into the weeds with this, but let's just say we have had this conversation before on this show. And it really is just embarrassing for these people that they take it this goddamn cockadoodie serious. They take it that fucking serious. What does it matter? And first off, what he predicted about me is not correct. He's like, oh, Jaffe's upset because they made God of War better than his God. I don't know what else I can do or say to convince people that I have moved on, and I was happy to move on, but they just won't accept it. So it is what it is anyway. All right, let's move on though. Let's move on and talk about other things happening in the world. Final Fantasy XVI. I guess I'm going to turn off the red phone. This guy's not calling. Hang on. But I'll turn it on for members after the show. Or after the break. Okay. Final Fantasy XVI is, according to a PlayStation 5 ad, exclusive to PlayStation 5 for 6 months. The highly anticipated, this is from IGN. I think it's IGN, yeah. Highly anticipated Final Fantasy XVI has seemingly been confirmed to be an exclusive PlayStation 5 game for 6 months at least. Please shut the fuck up, Jim Ryan. I don't care. I mean, I get it. He's doing his job. But my God, apparently it's having an effect. Apparently he's doing his job well enough that people in the UK are starting to go, oh, wait a minute, Sony's making some good points here. No, they're not. It's okay to take Final Fantasy away from the competition for X number of months before they get it. But Activision can't do it with Call of Duty. Where's the line? Not Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan's line is wherever he wants to put it to do his job well. That's fine. He's a good soldier. But where's the line, regulatory bodies, where a game is too successful to be treated like Tomb Raider, Final Fantasy XVI, some of the Call of Duty exclusive Sony has had? What's the problem? Oh, Addy Pie says it's like he's doing the exact thing he doesn't want Xbox to do. He is doing it. It's not like it. He is doing it. But in some ways, you have to respect that, because he's like, look, I don't need to be your friend. My job is to protect the shareholders and be a warrior for my team. Okay. And I find that morally problematic. But if your job is to, win and sell as many consoles, he's doing the right thing. It's the regulatory bodies I take issue with that look at it and go, this is just, you're just buying Jim Ryan's bullshit. Maybe it's because he has a British accent and he's from merry old England. Maybe if Phil Spencer's like, hello, tip, tip, top of the morning to you boys. Shut your gob, Jim Ryan. Maybe if that was happening, maybe. All right. Anyway, there you go. That's what's happening with Final Fantasy. I want to talk very, very briefly, speaking of Call of Duty. And Ravenous says, Jaffe, Xbox does this too. Everybody does it. I don't fault them for trying to play hardball. What I fault are the regulatory bodies in America and the UK that don't seem to be able to determine or distinguish between bullshit PR coming from companies that have a vested interest in making this deal go through or not go through. That's all I'm saying. Okay. A lot of that is about cloud monopoly, says Ravnos. It does. What monopoly? Sony was streaming before Xbox was. Sony has Uncharted, God of War on streaming. They have Last of Us on streaming. But that's okay. Well, why doesn't, you know, if let's put it this way. I'm going to get off this. I don't want to get, there's nothing much we can, you know, it's just opinions at this point. But I'm going to take the last fucking word. Unless somebody's got new data. But let's put it this way. If it's about streaming and the regulatory bodies will believe the horse shit from Jim Ryan that says we can't possibly make a competitor for Call of Duty, and they believe it, well, then they should believe Phil Spencer if he says, well, they're streaming all these great cinematic action adventure games. Look at our output. We can't possibly make that. But for some reason, that's okay. I don't know. It didn't sell $1 billion in a week. It made $1 million in 10 days. That's the next story. Who just said it was Nubulax. Okay. He's right, though. Call of Duty Modern Warfare continues to be the fastest selling entry. Continues to be. That makes sense. Entering the long-running shooter series, according to Activision. Having topped, this is from Video Games Chronicle, having topped 800 million in sales the first 3 days, it has now crossed the $1 billion mark in 10 days. It has surpassed Black Ops 2, which took 15 days in 2012 to reach that mark. So I guess the reports of the demise of this series were premature. Certainly Vanguard didn't do it any favors. They love the Modern Warfare. They love that period. They love the developer. The campaign, I thought, was really lopsided, which we'll talk about in a second. But it was great. I loved it. And I haven't played multiplayer yet. I know Rob the Mod has. I know Spaz has. And they're saying it's great. And I did play the beta, and I thought it was fucking fantastic. So I get it. It deserves its success. It's doing pretty fucking well. There have been over 1 billion multiplayer matches in the first 10 days as well. And then next week we get Warzone 2.0, which apparently is better integrated into Modern Warfare 2 than Vanguard was. They also have confirmed that there will be a brand new mainline Call of Duty next Christmas, next holiday season. People have been saying that's not true. They're going to take a break. Turns out we have learned that no, that is absolutely true. Okay. So I want to talk about this. I got to talk carefully about this. Okay. Because I can't tell you how I have this data, but let's just say it's a source that works at Sony, and that's all I'll say. They work. I'll be a little. They work at Sony in executive level. They're not in product development, but they would have a reason. It's not a scoop. It's not a scoop, Maskista. Ooh, fuck. Okay. Just incredible guy. Thank you for joining the Diet Soda Soldier, sir. I do appreciate that. Somebody's driving and they just had a terrible accident. Okay. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Welcome to Diet Soda Soldier, sir. I appreciate it, buddy. Okay. What are you talking about? Oh, yeah. Okay. So I did this Call of Duty review, and what I said was, I said, what's weird is there are parts in this game that are absolutely fantastic, just creative and different and interesting. And then there are parts in this game, the first half for the most part, not all, but for the most, it's just terrible. Just fucking terrible. And in my review, I said, I would love some data. Like, what the fuck happened? There is no way the people responsible for this first part is the same crew responsible for the back half and the middle. I compared the opening, the first maybe 4, 5, 6 missions to a Tubi crap, straight to Tubi C-level WWE starring wrestler action film to Fast and the Furious quality in terms of just big titles. Yeah, we're talking COD, just real quick. And I was just like, what happened? And this Sony person reaches out to me. Listen to this. It's interesting. Blackjack says nobody playing Call of Duty every year cares. I care. I like the campaigns. I'm excited. I have never played Call of Duty. What's the one in space? I just bought it recently. I've never played that. I hear it's great. Yes, I like the second half better. Risk It the Biscuit can't believe it. He says, wow, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Addy Pie, this is less Infinite. Yeah, Mars. This is less about Call of Duty and more about the way production kind of works. Okay, so listen, let me read around this. Let me read around this if I can. So the design director, or one of the design directors that was doing Modern Warfare in 2019, was working on this one. Now, if you don't remember, him and I think it was a partner or something, or not like a romantic partner, but like a design partner, had come over from Naughty Dog. And I was excited for 2019, and I actually really liked 2019's campaign. And they came from Naughty Dog to go direct 2019 Modern Warfare. And it's interesting because some of the stuff that I cited as unique and fresh, people were like, oh, that was an Uncharted. And I'm like, well, I played Uncharted 3, and I know that there was, like, for example, a boat undulating on the waters, but I don't remember giant cargo crates sliding around always using real-time physics that were affecting your gunplay. It was up and down, and it affected a little bit of platforming. But whatever. So one of the levels that I thought was phenomenal in Uncharted 3, was the level in Modern Warfare 2, which was on a boat at sea where the cargo is being moved around. I've never played anything like it, right? Same thing with a couple other things. Well, it turns out that it's not wrong to consider that those ex-Naughty Dog devs that did work a little bit on the campaign for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, they left 15 months in, and new people came on board to take over. So it's absolutely accurate that there were very different leads directing different parts of this game at different times. What's also interesting is this was fascinating to me that this guy said to me. He said, the thing is, Jaffe, the way it was when you were making the video games, because my suggestion in my video was like, look, it's so clear that you have a pacing problem in this game. Why not just take these and move this one here, move that one here? And yeah, the story will be a little weird, but just get the actors back for voiceover. You don't have to mocap it and make it like, chronologically out of order that it all makes sense at the end. Just figure it out. Hire a writer. It'll take them a week to cobble it all back together, right? Because you'll have a game then that just moves better. And he said, when those Naughty Dog guys came over, and maybe it was them, or maybe it was they influence. I don't know who made the call, because I don't know if their directors are leading it at this is how we do production, or if that's a producer. But my understanding is, he said, when those Naughty Dog guys came over, they brought with them that DNA of not story first ahead of gameplay, but let's build the spine of the story and everything sticks to that. And he's like, so it's probably that the culture they have now there, the Naughty Dog guys, like, you wouldn't go to Neil Druckmann or Amy Hennig, maybe Amy back today, I don't know, and go, you know what, this part of Last of Us is pretty boring. Just cut it, make it a dream sequence over here, and you'll have a better flow. That's not how they do it over there. And that's probably not how they do it. I guess it was Infinity Ward did this one, because otherwise it would have been a no-brainer. If I was directing it, you goddamn right, I would have said, okay, Move these around. We'll figure it out. Story needs to be good, but it's the least important thing. No, well, Risk It the Biscuit says, are we, oh my God, we're not blowing Naughty Dog again, are we? I'm not saying their way is right or wrong. I'm saying that my understanding from this person at Sony said it wouldn't have surprised him, wink, wink, if the guys who did come over from Naughty Dog brought that with them. And in bringing that with them, even though they left, the team that had been built around the current Modern Warfare series at Infinity Ward are like, oh, it would never occur to us anymore to just start moving puzzle pieces around. That's all I'm saying. The first half, Nubulek says, I guess the first half is slower. It's not that it's slower. It's just that it's very dull, right? It's just that it's very rote. You've done it before. You've played it before. Nothing really interesting. And then it starts to take off and you're like, holy fucking shit. This is pretty fucking good. So just giving you a little insight from my little connection there at Sony about why the Call of Duty campaign feels as fucking lopsided as it fucking is. Okay. Tomorrow, if you're excited like me, don't forget, this is what's coming up. We talked briefly about it. I'm just going to give you a few more details. Halo Infinite, November 8th, tomorrow, 11 a.m. California time. It'll be Pacific time. No, Pacific time is, California, 11 a.m., 2 p.m. on the East Coast. UK, 7 p.m., Europe, 8 p.m. I know UK's in Europe, but they separate it. Australia, 6 in the morning, New Zealand, 8 a.m. This is when it goes live. It'll go down for an hour. And then after that, it'll come back. It'll have Forge beta. You'll be able to play the campaign networked co-op, and they'll have mission replay as well. They have 2 new maps. One's called Detachment. The other's called Argyle. And they have their new Battle Pass system as well as a bunch of other kind of stuff. There's also a new mode as well and a new event in January. So this is all happening tomorrow at 11. And we'll go from there. Da Vinci's Demon says, I'm happy you like Modern Warfare 2, Jaffe, but you'll join the group in no time. Just play it all day one day and see if you still like it. I'm talking about the campaign. I did play the beta of Call of Duty and I enjoyed it very much, the multiplayer, but I haven't played the final. So I don't know. Okay, we got to talk about this real quick. Look. If you don't know what you're looking at, let me make it HD real quick. If you don't know what you're looking at, this is the trophy or the digital collectible you get if you're a member of PlayStation Stars if you pre-order God of War. Now, God of War Ragnarok, right? I don't know about this. I mean, it's fine. The trophy's fine. I don't know what those 3 things represent. I guess one is Atreus and one is Athena. Who knows? Doesn't matter. But I saw these, and there's a bunch of these that they went live with today saying there's a bunch of new challenges that you can get for PlayStation Stars. The way you get that one is you pre-order God of War. If this one is... It says if you join us in playing any game on PS4 or 5 to celebrate the franchise of Ratchet and Clank. And this one's pretty cool. It's a armored Ratchet trophy. And then they go on, there's like a PS3. If they know if you have the black or ceramic white, you get this for your quote trophy case. This you get if you play a game this month or whatever. But the point is, one of the things that they say is they're like, oh, this will look great in your trophy case, right? And I'm kind of like going, well, maybe that's coming. I really want to like this. Like, I like it. Well, Stoner Face says it's digital junk. I really want to like this. And there's something about it I do like, but I have nowhere to put it, right? I have nowhere to it's like, oh, you have to go on your phone. So I don't mind. I kind of like the idea of like these, a trophy case. You can come to my page, you can come to my whatever, and I can look at them and you can look at them and it's like, holy shit, where did you get that one? But the idea that it's on your phone and you just scroll through them and they're not even rotating, I'm sure it's going to come, but it's almost like they launched this way too fucking early, because you see something like this and I kind of get excited, like, oh, if I just play one fighting game this month, I can have this to put in my, whether it is my VR home or whether it is something that everybody on PlayStation, I can click a button when I'm on my PS5 and it opens up their trophy case or whatever. I have to assume that is coming. But right now it's just like, really? So maybe the answer is get them now, because in a year, 6 months, whatever, you'll be glad you did, because they're one-time onlys. And then you get them and you'll be like, oh, people weren't into this at first. Now that there's a nice way to display them, it's actually pretty fucking cool. So I don't know. I'm kind of in on this. If they just make some changes to it, but this is live now, for this month. What stars level am I, Ravnos? I don't even fucking know. Let me check. That's how little I use it, because why would I never turn on my PS app. According to my PS app, I am, where's my stars shit? I am, hang on, here we go. I'm level 2. Never seen them this big. Yeah, if you look at them on the app, but this is what they look like. It feels very coincidental that they add these trinkets around the time the PSVR hype is building. Maybe. But if they end up making this the only way you can display them is in PSVR, you can go fuck yourself. No fucking way. All right, let me check something real quick. One moment, fellas. Why is that playing? Okay, we'll save that. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. If you look at your screen, yeah, I agree. Addy Pie says the 550 price tag is gonna kill VR. Yeah, it's too expensive. This is where I leave you. If you're a non-paying member, if you're watching right now and you're not a paying member, you can keep watching. Love having you here. Thank you. Do consider a membership at any tier. Don't forget we have movie night coming up. I think I'm gonna start holding back on the pot and popcorn, because not the popcorn part, but the pot part, because there's so many movies that we're watching now that I'm like, I really want to be able to pay attention. But anyway, point being, consider a membership. If you look at the link tree below, it'll give you all the data, all the information about what it costs, different tiers, what you get for different tiers, on and on and on. But regardless, if you're watching after the fact, this is where this video is going to end. The rest, on the flip side, we're going to take a 7-minute break. We're going to come back and we're going to take phone calls, and it's going to be pretty much just free chat for about 45 minutes or so, just with the members that call in on Discord or here, or on the phone, or in the text, and we're just going to shoot the shit about really whatever you want. Maybe it'll be video games, maybe it'll be God of War, maybe it'll be politics, who the fuck knows. But here we go. So what this is going to do, let me take you to the break screen. But again, if you're watching live and you're not a member, stick around. It is totally available for you to watch. It's just not after the fact. Okay. Let's put up the break screen for a very brief moment.